What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It's the phlegmy throat Adam. Hold on a second. All right, what's going on? Thought I had some more coffee left in my mug. I don't want to drink more than what I have in here. Because I'll get a headache if I drink too much cold brew coffee. Especially, I don't eat breakfast. I have a bunch of eggs I gotta cook up. Bacon. Maybe I gotta get some baking trays and pans. Even just one of each. But yeah, today I absolutely have to go to the bank. I'm kicking myself a little bit because I should have gone to the bank when I had the chance on Monday, since I was already on my bike ride to work, but I got a quarter mile down the road and realized I forgot my check that I have to deposit. And the branch is really close to where I work, and then there's a branch down here where I live, but it's 7 miles. 7 miles. It's not in a straight line 7 miles. It's 7 miles because I've got to go this way to get to a bridge and then cross the bridge and go over to the bank. Everything in this region of where I live depends on bridges that don't exist. So if you have to cross a body of water, a creek or a stream, you're more or less screwed, because there are hardly any bridges down here. And I mean, there's a lot of places near the coast like that. There's a couple of places I've been in Florida where my son and I were camping on a beach, and you could look across the channel where we were camping, and there's Georgia on the other side of the waterway. But in order to get there, it's like 20 miles back to get to a road that has a bridge that goes across that river, and then you would have to drive another 20 miles back to, like, if you wanted to stand on opposite sides and wave to each other, it would be like a 40-mile drive to get from one point to the other, even though you can look and see each other once you get there, if you wanted to be on opposite sides of the inlet. And so it's just kind of like that around where I live. There are 3 bridges that are like 8 miles apart that I can take to get to and from the bakery, for example. And only 2 of them I use. The other one kind of goes out of my way. And so, what can I do to make my bicycle ride today more productive? I need to get the good milk and some half and half creamer to make my coffee creamer. I can do that today. The grocery store that has it is right on the way. Right on the way. It's not going to be out of my way to stop there. Mountain bike shoes has kind of been the theme lately. I got a free pair from Giro because my shoes were less than a year old, and I sent them pictures of some wear and tear that felt like it was beyond the normal wear and tear. And they sent me a new pair. No questions asked. I'm giving them the thumbs up as a company. I thought that was really awesome. I'm even going to send them a thank you email when I get around to it. I hope I remember. I'm so far behind on life. Let's see. But I am going to, one of the things I've found, 2 things I found on Facebook Marketplace, mountain bike shoes for $15. I found 2 different pair. One of the pair was 20 miles away, and I didn't want to ride 20 miles just to get shoes that may or may not fit. You know, they're supposedly my size, but you don't really know until you put them on. And so, but that was what prompted me to go, I should reach out to this company and get see if I can get a free pair of shoes. Then I won't have to go out there and get an extra pair, because that's a weak link in my preps right now. I have 2 bicycles. If one goes wrong, the other one's good. I had an issue with my Silver Bullet the other day, and the more I'm thinking about it and I'm looking it over, and I really haven't pulled the back wheel off and done anything, but when I tuned up my bike recently, I took the back wheel off to take the dork disc off, the plastic protector for the spoke protector that will keep your chain from shifting into the spokes. But if you have your bike adjusted properly, you won't need it. And so I was saying, my last bike ride, the wheel fell off. It came out of the frame. And the only thing I can think of is maybe the quick release skewer, something's messed up about it and it loosened itself up. I really don't know. The more I look at it, it looks like I might want to grab a different quick release skewer that I have and swap them just to prevent this from happening again. But I also recall that I had done work on, I'd taken that back wheel off, put it back on, and then Monday was the first time I rode the bike since doing that, I believe. No, it could have been, no, I take that back. I've rode that bike a few times since. I've ridden that bike more than a few times, actually. Let me look here on my activities. But I've ridden that bike just a few times, if anything. If I look at this one, oh wow, yeah, that was, when was that? July 21st. Come on, I hate this fucking app. July 21st. I got my hair done. I was on the, so July 21st. Just so I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. July 21st. So that's, yeah, because I definitely, I gotta double check this. You rode the Red Rocket that day. So the 21st, I don't understand this. Now when I go back to the dashboard, it automatically scrolls all the way down to the bottom of the page. Buggy ass piece of shit, garbage fucking software. That's all you ever get this day and age. Modern software. I'm so sick of Team India fucking everything up. I really am. I'm sick and tired of, Elon Musk got all buddy with Donald Trump so that he could continue to import cheap labor from India and take all of the American jobs away. Because when these software companies hire programmers from India, they bring them over. They either ship out the work to India where it gets done for pennies on the dollar, but if they can't deal with the time zone differences, then they bring them to America. So a $100,000 programming job becomes a $30,000 a year programming job for a 2-bit ass clown from India who's on an H-1B visa, which means that that person from India is locked to that company and can't just go get another job. They can't just play the market to get the best pay. So they're doing this to get indentured servants, which is one notch above the ladder from an actual slave. An indentured servant is just one notch above being a slave. Because a slave can't leave the plantation without getting hunted down and captured. An indentured servant could quit their job, but they'd have to go back to India. Or they would have to find another company willing to go through the legal process to sponsor their visa. Basically, they're locked. If somebody does come over here from India and they're smart, they're intelligent, they do a good job, they're top of the line. I know some people who've done that, who are top-notch programmers. I have no problem with them. Some of them go through the process of becoming a naturalized American citizen, and then now they can play the market and go work wherever they want. But by and large, these software companies are hiring bottom of the barrel workforce just to come over here and cobble together a bunch of broken shit. And they're paying them pennies on the dollar, and companies are focused on rolling out new features, and they do not care about fixing bugs. So if you ever find a bug in a piece of software that's out right now, like a modern piece of software, if you discover a bug in your workflow that keeps you from, don't ever expect that bug to get fixed. It will not. They don't care. They have your money. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about the bugs. All they care about is putting out new features. AI. Everything's AI. Now it's AI features, and that's all they care about, is rolling out some new bullshit that you didn't ask for, that you don't really want, that's not even really useful to you, but basic bugs that break your workflow and make it so you can't do your job, they don't give a fuck about that. And that was my, I've worked at these companies, I've seen it from the inside. I could give you 10 different examples of 10 different companies on how they just have a backlog of bugs that just keeps growing and growing and growing, and they don't fucking care. They're never gonna fix it. The only way that they will fix it is if it's a security risk that can cost them millions of dollars and ruin the company's reputation, or if it's a broken bug to the point where people can't log in to the platform. Strava had a bug the other day. I couldn't upload a ride. I had a GPS file I was trying to upload. It wouldn't go. And I thought there was something wrong with my file. And I kept going over and over and over again. It wouldn't upload. And then I checked the status website for Strava, and it showed that they were having problems. They fixed that problem. After they fixed the problem, all the GPS files were boom, 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 boom. I had to delete all of them except one. They showed up multiple times. So they will fix the problem if they start getting pounded by thousands of people saying, I can't log in, what's going on? Or just a basic bug that affects everybody. They will go all hands on deck to fix those kind of problems. But if it's just a bug that everybody has to deal with, but not enough people complain about, or it doesn't stop you from using the app, you just got to find some crappy workaround for it, they don't care. They do not care. They will not even assign a programming team or a single programmer to fix bugs. They put all the programmers on rolling out new features. They never, ever, ever fix bugs. That is absolutely the last priority on their list at these companies. It wasn't like that in the past. Software will always have bugs. It's the nature of the business. It's the nature of the game. But when software shipment switched from being on physical media like CDs and discs that they would have to send you, or you would have to go to a store and buy, to just being downloadable, and that changed the whole game. Now they can just release a bug-riddled piece of shit, and when people complain, they can just push an update, tell everybody to download the update. That's why video games come out. You buy a disc for a video game, but the only thing that disc does when you put it into is prove that you own the game, and then you have to download the game anyway. You can't even play video games from the disc anymore. Even though the files are on the disc, but by the time the disc got to GameStop, there's so many updates and patches for the game that the game won't play unless you download the game. So it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't know why anybody would buy. The only thing buying a physical disc does is allow you to sell your copy of the game to somebody else. Because if you download a game, you don't even own the game. They can shut off your Xbox account and take all your games away. You own a license to play the game, but if you own the actual disc, you can give it to somebody else and they can play it. That's the only reason those fucking things exist anymore. But I remember when Grand Theft Auto Online came out, it was an absolute shit show. Now it's been years. They've had years to improve that. Now people play it, people are still playing it. When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it's going to be a fucking shit show. There's going to be so many bugs because Rockstar may actually care a little bit more than some of the other companies because of their reputation and the time that people have waited to play the game, but people are going to find bugs all over the place. Assassin's Creed, sometimes they rush those games out so fast that the games are just completely bug-riddled and unplayable for the first couple of weeks because they have to put out patches and bug fixes just to make people be able to play the game, and then they get to a point where like, all right, we're not fixing anymore, good luck. So that was my update for software, but I'm actually talking about like my fitness and all that and how I have to ride my bike everywhere. And so, yeah, I think the reason why my wheel fell off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went on 6 bike rides of 25 miles or so. So that's like 100 and something miles, and my wheel worked itself loose. I don't know how. But prior to that stretch of riding that bike, I had taken the back wheel off and put it back on. So maybe I didn't do something right and it just took a while. I don't know. That one's got my mind going, what the F? Because that's not a normal thing. That's not a normal thing, but there's no visible reason. Everything looks like it's, the only thing about the quick release lever is something looks a little weird where the lever is on that side of the bike wheel that maybe I can see how maybe this would have happened, and I'm just going to take it apart, inspect it, and see what can be done. If I have a better quick release lever than this, I'm going to swap them, and then I won't have that problem again. So yeah, 3,005 miles so far this year as of today, and I haven't left to go to the bank yet and do the things that I have to do today. 2,943 on the bike, and that's 169 bike rides. 60 miles on foot, 28 times I walked somewhere. But now I'm at the point where if I have to go more than a mile, I'm going on the bike. Like, it doesn't even make sense for me to not take the bike. 3 miles is an hour-long walk. 3 miles on the bicycle's like 10 minutes at the most. That's like between 5 and 10 minutes to go 3 miles, or an hour to walk. I mean, make your choice. So I'm not going to walk anywhere that's, if I could get a job that's within 3 miles away, I could walk for that. Because the hassle of, there is an hassle of riding my bike where I have to pack. Oh my goodness. I don't understand why when I sit down in front of the camera to do YouTube, I get a frog in my throat. I get all phlegmy and I have to do this. Clear my throat. And then I talk all day to other people and I have no problem at all. As soon as I hit that record button on YouTube right now, frog in my throat. Shows right up. Never, and then it goes away as soon as I hit the stop button. That's a little weird. That's almost like a Harry Potter movie. Some spell got cast on me in a Harry Potter movie so that I won't be able to talk properly when I'm doing my videos or whatever. Who knows? But I've walked 60 miles this year. If I got into hiking, if I got into doing exercise for fun instead of doing exercise out of necessity, I would go on more hikes and I would walk more and I would go explore places where you can hike through the woods and stuff, and then that mileage would go up. I've gone up 44,566 feet of elevation in a flat city with no hills, 29,032 feet is the height of Mount Everest. And so I'm on my second climb of Mount Everest from sea level to the top. But that's a lot for living. If I lived in Pittsburgh, I'd have climbed Mount Everest like 8 times now in the same amount of mileage cycling. But here in Houston, everything's flat. I think there's like a 300-foot difference between where I live and where I work, that you gradually go up or gradually come down, but it's not. There's a couple of undulations on the way to and from, but there's no hills. The biggest hill are bridges going over highways. They call one of them on Strava is called Taco Hill. I think that's kind of funny. In July, I've gone 401 miles. I needed to average 399 every month for the rest of the year to hit 5,000. So there's a chance I'll probably end up with 415 for July. That'll bring the average down by maybe 1. Maybe I'll have to go 398 per month to get the 5,000. I don't know, because you're going to split 10. That's probably what it boils down to. There's a chance that I could get 455 to 460 by the end of the month, which is tomorrow. So Facebook Marketplace, 2 different sellers have mountain bike shoes for $15 that'll fit my feet. One of them was a 20-mile ride that prompted me to call and get a warranty replacement for my shoes that are wearing down. But they still have life left in them. I'm wearing them today. I have confidence in them. I could probably wear these every day for, every ride for the next year, and they'll probably still be okay. Not great, but okay. But I have a brand new pair to replace them with. But for $15, somebody 20 miles away has a pair that should fit me. And turns out another guy who had a pair right next door to the bank. I have to go to the bank today. I have to stop at the grocery store and get the glass bottled milk. So it would be very easy for me to stop a brand new pair of mountain bike shoes for $15 from somebody who lives right next door to the bank. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stock up on mountain bike shoes, and I'm not gonna just buy every pair that show up. It's just that I'd already talked to this guy a couple weeks ago, and things like that don't move as fast on Facebook Marketplace, because first you got to be in the market, you got to be looking for shoes like that, and 2, they got to fit you. So they don't just disappear quickly like certain other things do. And these ones are like sneakers. They're like a pair of sneakers with sneaker tread, and they have a recessed area to put a bike cleat on. So the use there, they lace up. So there's 2 benefits of that. Number 1, if I need to go somewhere that's close, like a few miles away or something like that, and I just want to wear some sneakers so I can walk around when I get to wherever it is I'm going, then these are like a pair of sneakers that click into my bike shoe, or my pedals, and I can ride a pair of, they're basically bike shoes that are sneakers. And so I won't use them a lot, but they're also a backup to my backup. So if heaven forbid, all of my bike shoes fall apart, I can wear these. The other benefit would be, like, I have some issues with my feet, corns, and different things like that. And maybe I just want to take it easy for a day and wear a pair of shoes that are comfortable on my feet, so that my feet and toes can heal from the calluses and corns and all the bad things that happen. Those could be useful for that situation. So I'm gonna do it. It's $15. It's not gonna make any difference whether I can afford a car or not, because I spent $15 on some shoes. Now the other shoes that are available, the ones that are 20 miles away, I'm not going to get those, but somebody else has a heart rate monitor, a chest strap for half the price of what it would cost on Amazon. And so I'm very interested in that because I'm really interested in trying to improve my health right now. And I'm not somebody who can just take giant steps and change radically overnight. So right now I'm consistently eating, I'm tracking my food, and what I thought was happening is what it's happening. For whatever reason, my appetite is at a point right now where I eat about 1,000 calories more than I should, day after day. Each day when I track my calories compared to what I'm supposed to eat, it's always 1,000 more. Not two, just 1,000 more consistently. So my weight just kind of hangs out where it is. I don't really go up, I don't really go down. I might drop down 8 pounds and it comes back up, but I've been in the same weight range, 214 to 225, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for over a year, and it hasn't really gone up or down. And it's just because my appetite, I just don't feel like, I just feel hungry, really like ravaged hungry. And so part of it is nutrition. Like if you're not eating the right food that your body wants, the healthy stuff, then you'll just feel hungry all the time. That's why you could eat Chinese, you can go to the Chinese buffet, pig out to where you can't take another bite of rice, and then you get home and you're like, damn, I'm hungry again. And you wonder, how the hell is that even possible? But you get home from the Chinese buffet after you've been here for an hour. You eat all food. You here for an hour. You go home now, fat boy. You go home. And then you get home and you're hungry again. And you're like, how the fuck did that happen? It's because you didn't eat anything good. And your body's like, I don't know what to do with all this shit. I can't build anything out of this. Like, you won't die, but give me something healthy, for crying out loud. And so you can go to a sushi joint. I can eat like 2 sushi rolls and I'm like, whoa, I can't do it anymore. And that probably wasn't that bad for you. I mean, you got to factor in the rice. I don't know. But I can eat a couple of Philly rolls and be full. But I could go to the Chinese buffet for 4 hours and be full when I walk out the door. An hour later, I'm be like, damn, I'm hungry. What's for dinner? So that's kind of where I'm at. I got to figure out, okay, I got to start eating some different things that'll make me feel satisfied without going over my calorie count. And I'll start to lose that weight. The biggest reason I lost 40 pounds in 4 months in federal prison in Danbury is I worked out every day a lot. I mean, I probably walked 5 to 10 miles a day on a fucking track like a hamster in a wheel. I did the Stairmaster. I timed myself on the Burj Khalifa or whatever, the biggest building. The Stairmaster machines have buildings, like the number of flights of stairs for the CN Tower, the Great Pyramid of Egypt, the Sears Tower in Chicago, whatever the fuck it is now, and the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. And so I would set a building preset. I'm going to climb this building today. And I would time it. And I would just track how much faster am I getting going up these buildings. So the Stairmaster, I was doing spinning classes. I played indoor soccer. I was constantly working out. And then this prison was starving people because they were mad. One person throws a fit in the chow hall and they punish everybody in the prison by starving us, taking away the commissary and giving us like 1,000 calories a day to eat. And so I lost 40 pounds in 4 months, and I kept it off until about halfway through my homeless stint, when the depression and the bad eating, I didn't have good access to healthy food. And I started just I could go get I couldn't really, I had to walk all the way across. I'd have to go on a 5-mile walk to get something healthy, or I could go get a pizza on my food stamps. And, you know, at that homeless shelter where they're feeding a lot of people, so most of the time it's going to be like pasta. It's going to be like filling stuff. You would never leave the table hungry at the homeless shelter unless you didn't like the food that they were serving that day. But it's never going to be like, they might have some healthy things there, like some salad or whatever, but if you got sloppy joes next to a salad, who's going to take the salad? Nobody. So, especially when you're all depressed and feeling like shit, and you got comfort food right in front of you. Oh, sloppy joe day, awesome. Salad, not so much. Salads don't make you happy. Salads don't cure depression. Ice cream, sloppy joes, spaghetti, cheesy mac, pizza, those are the things you eat when you're feeling like shit and you're depressed. So I'm kind of in that. I kind of here where I live right now, I'm eating salads. I got a salad waiting for me in there. I've got one left. I've got some other healthy things, but I've got some frozen pizzas in that freezer up there. And when I come home from a day at the bakery, riding my bicycle 50 miles, working 8 hours, the only thing I ate was Chick-fil-A, a giant cookie that's almost 1,000 calories, and then I get home and I'm hungry because I just did all that. I mean, what are you gonna do if you go like, oh, I got a frozen pizza right there, or I got a bunch of stuff that I gotta cook? Frozen pizza it is. That's what it's gonna be. So I need to replace frozen pizza or whatever quick thing with some other quick thing like chicken and vegetables. Got some chicken and vegetables. Oh, get 2 rotisserie chickens and shred one up and throw it in a Tupperware thing for the week. Eat one, eat some of one, take all the rest of the chicken, the remaining 2 rotisserie chickens, that's $5 a chicken. Take all the chicken meat off of one, put it in a Tupperware bin. That way when you come home, grab some cauliflower rice, some vegetables, some chicken, throw it in a frying pan, just psst. 10 minutes later, you got a meal. You can fill yourself up with that, and it probably won't crush you. I'll probably be below my calorie count on those days. So I'm going to try to do some things like that. I've got wraps. I've got recipes and wraps. I was making some pretty good, maybe healthy wraps a while back. Probably not the best in terms of calories. I'm assuming that the calories are pretty high on the ones I was making, but you know, I'm just trying to play around. I'm gonna get some sweet potatoes, some chicken. I'm gonna stock up on chicken and try to just go that direction. I'm not gonna go on this 20-mile ride to get a pair of $15 bike shoes. If I do, I'll have 4 pair of cycling shoes ready to go. And for the next 2 to 3 years, maybe beyond, I won't need cycling shoes. Boom, crossed off the list. Not just crossed off, but like stocked up. Won't have to worry about that at all. If a pair of shoes completely disintegrates, boom, go to the next pair. Don't even gotta worry about it. Take the cleats off, pair, if I can get them off, save them for a rainy day. Throw the shoes in the trash, you're good to go. You know, salvage whatever you can salvage, move on. But this heart rate monitor, the guy with the heart rate monitor is right next door, like within a mile of the person with the $15 shoes. So if I go on a 40-mile ride to get $300 worth of stuff for $75, I can't say no to that. Even though it's not on my priority list to get either one of the things, it's like such a good deal that I'm not going to pass it up, but I'm not going to do it unless I can get both things lined up together. And the person with the shoes has gotten flaky. People on Facebook Marketplace are flaky as hell. So I'm going to try to do it I'm going to try to do it tomorrow or maybe Friday. I don't really want to do it on Friday. Worst case scenario, I do it on Saturday and I just make my ride home extra long, which kind of sucks, but it's possible to do. And if it doesn't go down, once again, this isn't going to make or break my ability to get a car or to do the big things I need to do. It's not. People will say it is, but you're like Susie Orman when she gets on and she tells all these kids the reason why you can't pay your bills is because you bought Starbucks. Like, it's not paying, paying $5 for coffee times 5 days a week, you're paying $100 a month to drink coffee, but chances are you're working you're working in an office somewhere, you're making decent money. That $100 doesn't make that big of a difference when your rent payment is thousands of dollars a month. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big of a difference. I mean, Susie Orman would probably have more money if they didn't she has to slaughter an entire cow to make a leather outfit every time she gets on TV and does a show. I don't think she's ever worn the same outfit twice, and it's like an entire fucking cow's worth of leather just to make her fucking costume for her stupid show. So she'd probably have millions of dollars more in the bank if she didn't slaughter a cow every time she gets on TV. That's a lot more money than a fucking cup of coffee. I'm just saying, like, I don't get, it's true to an extent, but, I'll either do it or I won't. And, I've got other things. I want to get curtains for this place that's my next thing. I get some pest control stuff and just keep working at that game, and I have a never-ending list. But on the plus side, if I go and do all the things I want to do right now, after I pay my rent on the 1st, I have way more money left over than I did last month when I paid my rent on the 1st. So, and I'm still going to get paid throughout the month of August. And hopefully by the time I pay my rent in September, the leftover money is going to be even better. So I'm built, it was the same way when I lived in the tool shed. Each month when I went and paid my rent, my bank account had more money in it than the previous month when I paid rent. Because that's the biggest bill I have. So when I pay that bill, it's like, pew! It's like, money, 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 drop. Money, 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 drop. Every time I pay that rent bill, it drops. And so, but, ever since I came to Houston, it's kind of been the story. I was at my friend's house. I built up a nice chunk of change in a few months by, I still spent money. I had to buy stuff for the bicycling, had to buy clothes. I bought a pair of sneakers. I had just different things, but I was still the upward trend. I might take a dip, but the upward trend was still going up. And the main reason why I lost everything and went back down to almost zero was, when I moved out of my friend's house, huge expense, had to buy a bunch of stuff that I didn't have, that I couldn't even cook. I couldn't cook anything. Didn't have any food, groceries, or any of that. Had to start from nothing. For the first month, I was broke. I built up a little bit of money. Then that landlord did what he did. I had to move again. I had to put all the money I had into moving. And then after the move, I had to buy a bunch of crap. And now I don't. There are things that I want, like I want a bed. I want to get a bed. So if getting a bed means that I gotta wait longer to get a car, fine, I'll get a bed. And then I can get a good night's sleep on an actual bed. I haven't done that in a long time. I'm sleeping on a camp cot. It's comfortable. It's a memory foam mattress. It's a pad. It's thick. It's way better. I slept in prison. I slept on prison bunk for 2 years. That'll completely train wreck your body. So sleeping on a camping cot with a memory foam pad, that's an upgrade from that, big time. I don't wake up with a sore back, but a bed would feel a million times better for sure. I was sleeping at my best friend's house on a bed for a few months, so I know. So I'm like, some people are gonna leave comments about what I need to do and what I don't need to do and what they think I should focus on and what I shouldn't be on. And, you know, that's fine. I'm not saying you're coming from I don't think these people have bad intentions, but there comes a point where you just gotta be like, you know what, fuck all these people, do what you gotta do. Like, I'll listen to what people say, but I don't have to take your advice. And, you know, a lot of people are just going to be like, well, he got what he deserved because he didn't take my advice. Ha ha ha, you dumb piece of shit. Yeah, all right, whatever. Mostly Republicans are like that. That's a big Republican thing that, you know, that's something that something that I see a lot of when it comes, you know, because I can't stand Republicans or Democrats, and that's one of the things I see a lot with the Republicans that are like, you know, if you don't do things the way I think you should, then haha, when you know, that's what you got what you deserve or whatever, and it's like, oh, just go away. But regardless, I'll either be well stocked or pretty well stocked on mountain bike shoes or bicycling shoes. And I bike more than I mean, I walked 60 miles this year. I rode my bike almost 3,000 miles. So cycling shoes are more important than walking shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was walking 500 miles like I did in Jamestown, to where I wore a pair of boots that I took a brand new pair of hiking boots and wore the tread completely off, gone. It was down to the foam that's between the rubber tread and your foot. I didn't wear a hole, like my big toe wasn't sticking out, a hole in the bottom of the shoe, but it was pretty much there. I showed you a video when I bought new boots out in the parking lot. My boots disintegrated, and the boots that I was wearing that day, they disintegrated in the parking lot. I wouldn't have even been able to walk back to the homeless shelter with tread on my boot that day. I wouldn't have made it. The walk to Walmart was the end of those boots. And those boots were brand new. From May 1st until sometime in July, like 3 months, boom, wore through a pair of boots that were brand new. These boots from Walmart, the Herman Survivors or whatever, the treads are still there. But I'm only wearing those at the bakery now for my job, and I don't wear them. I leave them there. So that's, you know, and so that's where we're at there. The heart rate monitor is kind of a frivolous thing in comparison to some of the other things. I need things, and then I want things. And so, you know, but sometimes you gotta live. Sometimes you gotta have fun. And what's it gonna be? You know, spend $60 on eating out at a restaurant, or buying a video game, which I don't do, or whatever. I mean, I have a Disney Plus subscription so that I could watch all the Star Wars stuff. When the cycling is over, I'll be back to watching that. So, here and there I do something for fun. And, somebody's going to have something to say about it, guaranteed, because I'm talking about it. But, oh well, if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again. Because I lived in fucking misery, pure fucking misery and hell from August of 2022 all the way to when I moved into this place. So yeah, I'm gonna take a fucking minute to enjoy my life for a minute. We'll just see what happens. We'll go from there. But no, I mean, nothing is set in stone. But if I can get a deal on something that I want and it's like 75% off, and it's, you got to act now or that deal is gone off the table, then I'm going to do it. I'll do it. I'll sacrifice something I need to get something I want. In that case, fine. But I'm only going to go out there if I can get the shoes and the heart rate monitor. And so I guess that's a long time to talk about that. But, it's just, there's all kinds of ways to, put the money back in the bank. And I'm just, I'm working on it one day at a time. I want to get, I just want to get to the point where I want to get to the point where maybe if I'm going to keep riding my bike for a while longer, that the energy doesn't drain me, and I lose weight and I get in better shape and I get to the point where I could enter a bike race and kick ass. I think working at this bakery is counterproductive there, because I'm not going to go into a bakery where they're like, hey, what cookie do you want today out of these giant 1,000-calorie cookies? I'm not going to say, no, I can't do that. I don't have that kind of willpower, for crying out loud. You can't. Some of the girls don't eat them because, they're all worried. Young girls are worried about gaining 1 pound. So they might take them home for their family or whatever, but I'm too old to give a fuck about that. So, I mean, if you put it in front of me, but here at home, I don't have cookies, I don't have cake, I don't have ice cream, I don't have any of that stuff at home. The closest, I have peanuts, I do have some chips and some Cheetos and stuff in the cupboard, but I don't eat those. If I broke down and made one of those Chi-Chis that I showed you, that's what that's for. That's just crumbly topping for a Chi-Chi. But I'm not pulling out a bag of Cheetos and, well, maybe once in a while if I'm really down to having nothing else in the house and I see that bag of Cheetos and I'm hungry for a snack, I'm gonna be like, yo. But right now I got a salad waiting for me and I'd rather have that. So, it's just, it's just a weird week this week. I'm really, it's, I can't even explain it. It's just that time warp that I keep talking about and everything. Like, I can't believe it's already Wednesday, and part of the like having to go to the bank because I made a mistake and didn't do it on Monday is bothering me, because that's a chunk of my day to go on a 15-mile bike ride, come back, I'm gonna be all like sweaty, probably gonna want to take a quick shower. By the time I recover from it, I mean, say that's like 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours out of my day. to go there and come back and make all the stops and errands. I got to go to the bank, get the shoes, go to the grocery store, come back. It's very. I'm gonna get home and I'm not gonna feel like doing anything. So these are the days where I'm like, somebody wants to give me a car, but I gotta pay for the shipping. $1,200 plus. There's not the guy that's selling or not the guy that's getting rid of the car, but how do I trust a delivery company to pick up a car and bring it here? Somebody at work at the bakery has her daughter moved to Denver from Houston, and the moving company disappeared with all of her stuff, and now they won't even answer the phone when she calls. So basically she paid a moving company to come steal all of her entire house full of stuff is gone. It seemed like a reputable company, had good reviews, etc., etc. And she hired them, paid them, they came, they took the stuff out of the house, put it in the truck, said we'll be in Denver by such and such a day. Now she's been in Denver for 2 weeks in an empty house, and now the company won't even answer the phone when she calls. They've just poof, gone. All of her stuff's gone. And I'm like, damn. And so that makes me think, I'm like, I don't want to pay $1,200 or whatever it's going to cost to have a car shipped, and then the car just fucking disappears. And I'm not saying that would happen, but that made me think. That whole thing that happened to my friend at work, the daughter of my coworker, was definitely something to think about. That's all. The slumlord that I used to rent from he created fake. He's on probation right now because he committed a felony of creating fake businesses and taking people's money and then disappearing and never performing the service or whatever that people paid for. One of the companies was a landscaping / lawn mowing business. He'd take people's money and just never show up and mow their lawn. And the second one was a moving company. And there were all these people that said he took my money, he never showed up, blah, blah, blah. So, and he got convicted, or he's on for deferred adjudication for these crimes. So it's just like, okay, so not only do I gotta find a shipper, but I gotta find one that's trustworthy and that won't just disappear with my money or disappear with a car and the money. So and drive across the Mexican border and goodbye. I don't know. So it's and because money's so tight right now. And so it's not like I don't want to do it, and I can't find a car for that price here in Houston. Not at all. Every single time I see a car under $2,000, every single time, the description will say some shit like, well, needs a new transmission, doesn't start, engine's got a cracked block, or just needs wheels, or just won't pass inspection, blah, blah, blah. It's just, you can't find a car that runs. Seems to me $5,000 is what you got to spend in Houston to get a car that will actually run. So there's different ways I could do this. And I'm just kind of I don't know right now, because I'm trying to get the money put away to do that, but also put groceries on the table. I want to get a bed. I want to do different things. So I just don't know. God, I think it's just going to be God will do it when it's time. Um, and that's it. I mean, it is what it is. I'm really not upset about any of it. I'm okay with where things are right now. I'm just kind of in this I just so yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of in this weird place this week, and kind of in limbo, waiting to see what happens with those deals, but also just like with the bicycle riding and all that, I can't. It is. It's like the thing I've been talking about. Chaos to come back. Right now, the biggest thing I need to figure out is time and energy. Whatever I've got to do to reclaim my time and energy. Because that will open up the door to making more money, getting better things going forward. And, part of it is, I've got a client who wants me to more or less work full time, but if I stop working at the bakery to do that, it is a risk for me, but it's also a risk that the probation officer will say, we'll have a problem with it. So I don't know. Like these are the things I have to juggle. And it just there are days where I'm just overwhelmed by all of it. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think anybody going through this process would feel any different. And I'm not beating myself up over it. And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna get, I'm just gonna go with the flow and do what I can do. Some days are good. I'm not even I haven't really had a bad day in a while. It's just been, very chill lately. Like I said, I'm just kind of going with the flow. I get irritated about a few things, but I'm also very thankful and grateful for where things are right now. But it's kind of like this one client is a friend of mine, and we both are talking about, because he's kind of going through the same thing I'm going through, but in his own way. That you're on the precipice of something, but you can't get past it. You're blocked in 20 different ways from getting past that point. And so what do you got to do? What do you got to change? What do you got to tweak to get over the hump, over the precipice, and on to the next thing? And so that's like leveling up, like I always talk about. And I still feel like I'm at the beginning of the current level, which if coming home from prison was level 1, becoming homeless was level 2, coming to Houston was level 3, living in the tool shed was level 4, this right now is level 5. So getting to the second hand, number 6, getting to level 6 is, it's obvious that the challenge is, it's obvious that the challenge right now is to get to the next level is time and energy, reclaiming the time and energy. And there's 100 different ways to do it. And I think I have to do all 100 of them. I think it's, a combination of a lot of things. Getting a car, getting a different job, doing more freelance, working less on the crappy work that doesn't pay, I don't hate working there at all. In fact, I like it more. The longer I'm there, the more I don't mind it. You know, it's not ever going to be something I want to do. But when I started working there, I'd have like a feeling of dread about, oh, I don't want to go in. Oh my God. And now I'm just like, it's okay. I look forward to certain things. I look forward to hanging out with the people that are there. And my client and I were talking about this the other day. He also thinks that there's something I'm getting out of working there that's above and beyond the money. There's a reward that I'm getting from it, lessons in life and different things like that are better, or that are good for me right now. And so I'm trying to think of what else there is to talk about. It's been an hour and I just kind of rambled about random things. I got a few hours, 3 hours left before I got to do the bike. It's a quick ride, 7 miles there. It goes by quick. I mean, 7 miles is half an hour or less. If I'm going slow, it's a half hour. Then I go to the bank, do the bank thing, go do the errand, go do the other thing. And after the other thing, it's another half hour. I gotta carry glass bottles of milk for half an hour in my backpack, but they'll still be cold when I get home. And then when I get home, it's like, what do I do? Do I do some chores? Do I do some work? What do I have the energy to get done to be productive today? There's digital chores that I have to do every week that if I don't do them, it gets so ridiculously hard that I can't keep up. So, I don't know, the plugs. I'll do the plugs. Live stream every Thursday, 6 to 8 Central Standard Time. I'll be more energetic tomorrow night for that, or whatever day it is. Because I'm putting these videos on a delay. I've noticed the viewership has gone way down. There's like an ebb and flow to this YouTube thing. I think people are getting sick of this format that I'm doing right now. Let me take a quick look here. But the stats are kind of showing me that people don't like what I'm doing right now. Gee willikers. The regular people, they're coming and we're cool and we're hanging out. But I can look at the analytics are very detailed for YouTube and they tell you what's going on. And subscriber count, the same as it's been since last September. Not one single new subscriber. I'm gonna just look up something here. Because I don't. This guy is a cool dude. Truth Tiger. He does. I mean, his videos are. Let's just see. Because I've done a live stream with him a couple times. I've talked to him outside of that. He's a cool dude. I like this guy. He's a cool dude, especially if you get to talking to him outside of his YouTube channel and whatnot. His videos are anywhere from 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, and he's definitely his topics, and he kind of just sticks to the same topic. He's up to almost 15,000 subscribers now. He hit 1,000 subscribers at the same time I did. And that we were talking, like, I don't know how he found my channel, but when he hit 1,000 subscribers, so did I. We were like within a week of each other. Now he's got 15,000 subscribers. I have the exact same number of subscribers I've had since last September. So, not even one September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. 11 months. 11 months go by and you don't even get one subscriber. Not one. Not one. In 11 months. But it took 3 months to get 1,000. 1,000 in 3 months. Then 11 months, 0. I mean, if that does not tell you that YouTube still censors people, but they're not censoring me by kicking me off the platform. They're censoring me by making sure that nobody sees what I post, unless you were already watching it. And there are different things that I can try and do, and there are definitely things that I notice if I go to there was a trend in June when I moved in here and started shooting videos in this place. The views went up by a lot, but now they're back down to normal. It seems like whenever I make a change to whatever I'm doing, there's a bump up and then it just comes back down. But I used to get 3,000 views on a homeless video. But then the watch time, now funny thing is the watch time now in June the watch time was higher than it was when I was homeless. And now it's kind of back down, but it's not as bad as it was living at my friend's house. Subscriber count has just flatlined. Flat. Psst. I'm looking at the lifetime history of the stats. The content tab here. If you look at impressions, there was a big spike in the impressions on June 1st. When I moved in here, for some reason, they gave me just as many impressions as they did when I was first homeless. Like 30 to 40,000 impressions to get people to click on my videos. And it turned into a spike in traffic. And then it just went back down to almost no. Now they don't give me any impressions. And I noticed, I can watch the dips. And if I go back and watch the video before a dip in the impressions, it'll be like me calling COVID a scam. Boom, no more impressions. You're done. We don't like what you said today. We're not going to show your videos anymore to people. So, but I feel like I got to change some things. I got to do maybe some shorter videos. I don't know. There are things I can do that'll fix this issue if I want to keep doing YouTube videos and do this otherwise. The live stream's been cool. That's been good. If we go here, the live streams, good, decent number of views, few comments, but up to 15 people showing up for the live stream. So it's nice to not, I don't care if it's 15 or 1,500 people showing up. It's actually calmer when you can have a real conversation back and forth with the live stream chat, and you can actually follow the chat, and it's not just this parade of chats that you can't even keep up with or even think about reading. Because some of the more popular streams, that's what happens. The chat just goes off the chain, and you can't, you post a thing and it just goes right, and nobody even can see what it said. I've seen that happen to people. But that, that's been a good thing. I'm going to keep doing that. And, shorts, I haven't played around with YouTube shorts at all. I feel like I just have to take a day and just write down everything you want to do again. Go through your to-do lists, go through all this stuff that you want to do. And because you can't do all of it. None of you can. If you wrote down everything you want to do in life, you wouldn't be able to do it all. You just can't. If you're like me, there's so many things I want to go to France and watch the Tour de France for a month and travel around the country. Like, that's something I want to do. I'm never going to do that. I'll probably never be able to go to France because I have a felony. They won't let me into Canada. I'll never be able to go to Alaska without taking a boat or a plane because they won't let me into Canada to drive. Never. Like, that'll be a never. You will never be able to go into Canada if you have a felony. Never. They won't let you in. The only way you'll get in is if you sneak across the border somewhere where there's no border patrol and you're just in. And at that point, you know, but then you're going to have to come back to America and, like, it could get complicated. Mexico, I can probably go to Mexico. I don't think they care. They want the gringos' money, so I don't really think they care. That's what I've been told. That's what my research has told me. And I'm close to Mexico. Why not? Why not add it to the? I've been to Canada, Puerto Rico. May as well go to Mexico and add another country to my bucket because that's all I'm going to be able to do in my life. But I would like to travel the world and see the world, but never really, I mean, that was never really in my, that was never really on the list. There were so many other, I'm just not one of those people that get to do that. Never have been. Maybe it will. Maybe someday I will. I don't know. But, so, that's it for coffee today. I know this is probably one of the boringer videos. It's not going to do anything for the stats, but I'm just sharing what's going on, how hard it is to come back from chaos. Sometimes you just get burned out, and I'm through I'm in a burnout period, and I think it has to do with having been through so much stress and trauma for over 3 years straight without a break from it, and now I feel like I'm getting a break from it. I feel like I've had peace and tranquility surrounding me now for 2 months. With almost no stress, no real stressors. The things that are stressing me out now, if we're gonna call it that, is like just feeling beat. Just feeling beat. But people keep saying, they keep coming to the channel and they keep saying, man, you look so much better now. You look like you're in such better spirits. Everything seems like it is. And I do feel that way, and it's like I'm much more at peace now than I've been since 2022 in August. But there are a bunch of things weighing me down. And so I think my body just kind of hit a point where the stress unravels when you're really stressed out for a long period of time, and then you get to a place where you can let it go. It's like all the tension unravels and you're just kind of left, you're just done, you're spent. And that's what I'm feeling, especially over the last couple of weeks. It's been really pronounced last week and this week. It's been like, all I want to do is go lay down and sleep for a month. I just want to go sleep for a month. That's not possible, but if I could just disappear and go somewhere for a month and just sleep, relax, I probably wouldn't even sleep or relax. Other than, like, I would probably go hiking, biking, go experience nature, do strenuous things to an extent. But, like, if I could go set up a campsite somewhere, like when me and my son used to go camping, we'd go set up a camp in the middle of the Allegheny National Forest and then just stay there for 10 days. There would be days where we do nothing at all. Sit, eat, listen to music, keep the fire going. And then there'd be days where we'd go out and do an adventure and do something fun. No alarm clock, no, it's time for bed, no sleep, go to bed when you want, wake up when you want. I didn't have to tell him to go to bed. As soon as the sun goes down and you're staring at the campfire, he'd just be like falling asleep in his chair. He'd be like, I'm going to bed. Bye. And then for me, depends. It would totally depend. Sometimes I would stay up until past midnight. Sometimes 10 o'clock I'm ready to go. I'm out. The campfire hypnotizes you. You just, I think that's what I need. I need something like a camping trip or something where I can just go back to my roots, be with nature, and just take it to another level. This place is pretty chill here where I'm living. There's people coming and going. There's a property where other people live here. They don't bother you. I don't bother them. If you see each other, hey, how's it going? Wave. Like there's no drama here. None. And so I just think I finally got to a place where there's no drama and there's nothing going wrong. Nothing going wrong that's not true. But there's no drama and there's no like constant source of agonizing stress surrounding me. And all of a sudden I'm just, whoa. Because I had to be wound up so tight to survive August of 2022. We're going on 3 years. It's almost August 12th, 2025. It'll be the 3-year anniversary of me going to hell. There are days where I don't even know if I lived through that night. Like, did I get shot in the head when I came to the door? Did the FBI put a bullet in the middle of my head to the point where you won't even hear the gunshot? If you got shot in the head, you won't even hear the gunshot. You'll just be lights on, lights off. That's it. You won't hear because the bullet travels faster than the sound. That bullet's already exploded the back of your head before you ever heard the gunshot. You won't even hear it. Sometimes I wonder, did I get shot that night and I'm just living in some sort of weird ass purgatory until I figure out that I'm dead? I don't know. Like, there are days that thought goes through my head. There are things that happen, strange, weird. The thing with the rain, like it never rains when I go on my bike rides, yet it's constantly raining. I've gone on 169, almost where am I at now with the bike rides? I gotta go back to scrolling here. 169 bike rides. Today is 107. Today, in a couple hours, I will go on 170 bike rides. And I've been rained on twice. 2 mornings I showed up to the bakery with wet feet and wet underwear and had to change into my extra socks and underwear that I keep there. Other than that, no, I haven't been wet. The rides home where it rained a little bit, it rained a little bit. I mean, not even enough to make my feet wet, not enough to make my underwear wet, not enough. I mean, I got more wet from sweat than from the rain in those situations, so I don't count that as riding in the rain as much. I don't. Wet feet. I got wet feet twice in 170 rides in one of the rainiest seasons they've had here in a while. The more I talk to people, the more they say that the rain has been worse this year than it has in a long time, but it's not. It can happen. There are years where it rains a lot, and then there's years where it's dry. Ish. I mean, it is a tropical climate here. technically speaking. Tropical means that they get a certain amount of rain every year. That's what tropical doesn't mean. Palm trees. There's a tropical climate in Alaska. I think it's Kodiak Island, where the Kodiak bears live. I believe that's where it is. Tropical island. In Alaska, there's a tropical island. It's not palm trees and tequilas and fun in the sun. It's a dense pine forested island that rains nonstop for the whole year. It just constantly rains there. So it's a tropical climate. It doesn't mean that it's, tropical puts a picture in your head that may not exist. Houston is woods. The whole area around here is just woods. It feels like being back in New York. The trees don't look that different. I don't think I've seen a couple of palm trees here, but they're in people's yards. Like just some rich asshole puts a palm tree in their yard because they can and it won't die, probably. I haven't really seen palm trees, but I haven't gone to the ocean here either. But it's forested. It's called the woodlands because it's in the woods. They had to cut up the woods. And the way that they built that neighborhood was instead of bulldozing the whole fucking forest and putting in a bunch of strip malls and fucking douchebag suburban McMansion dwellings, they cut holes out of the woods so that there would still be trees everywhere and still... So you can drive right by the Walmart parking lot and never know it's there because you'll see a tiny little sign that says Walmart and there's a pathway going back into the woods, and then you go back into the woods and it opens up into a Walmart parking lot with the box marts and all the stupid stores around it, but it's all hidden. As you go by on the road, you don't see it. And I think as a concept, I think that's a cool idea. I think that that's definitely more original planning and thought than your typical, like, Cranberry, Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh is just a fucking giant strip of box marts and strip malls and a bunch of dumbass McMansions, and just, it's all just ugly and shitty. Just a bunch of, you've got the upper middle class and the lower upper class, and that's where they mingle right there. The difference between, I could do a whole video about the difference between the upper middle class and the lower upper class, and the difference is how you act and how you live your life and your personality and just different things like that. In a nutshell, somebody who's upper middle class will go to the Chanel store and buy an expensive $10,000 purse, but they're looking for the one with the biggest logo on it because they want everybody to see, look, I have a Chanel purse. See, it's got this giant fucking 60-inch tall Chanel logo, black letters. The double C is black on the side of the bag, and the whole bag is as big as my chest. And it's a white bag with black letters, or a black bag with white letters. You can see it from 100 yards away. Look, I have a Chanel bag. And that's the only reason you bought it, was so that everybody can see that you're carrying around a $10,000 bag. Lower upper class would buy the same purse. Well, they'll go to the Chanel store with the same budget, 10 grand, but they're gonna buy the purse that they like the best. And chances are, the only Chanel logo on the purse will be on the buckle, and it'll be small. It'll be like a double C with the clasp or something like that. They're looking at the color, the stitching, the size. They're buying the purse because they like the purse, not because they want everybody to see that they bought a Chanel purse. They just want a nice purse. They want the quality stitching, all the bells and whistles that you get with something like that. I'm not a girl, so I don't know, but I know more than I should about this stuff because of women that I've dated in the past. One girl owned a fucking purse store, so I mean, you learn a couple things. But anyway, lower upper class people might have the same budget, but they buy something because they want to buy it. Upper middle class people buy shit because they want to show off to the people next door. An upper middle class person buys a Porsche 911 because they want everybody in the neighborhood to see them driving around with it. They want people going down the road. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. A lower upper class person will buy the same Porsche, but they bought it because they liked it better than the Mercedes. Well, I tried the Mercedes, I tried the Porsche, I tried the, I definitely don't want a Jaguar. I tried the Audi. I went with the Porsche. It had the best feel. I like the way it drives on the road. Like they don't give a fuck about what anybody thinks about them. Upper middle class, everything they do and every single thing they buy and do is to impress other people and to show other people their money. Lower upper class people, everything that they do is because they want to. They don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. And at the end of the day, they don't want people to know they have money. They want to play. They don't even want to look rich. They want to look poor. Upper middle class people buy a t-shirt or buy clothing with big logos on it and flashy shit so that everybody knows, oh, that's a Versace shirt. Lower upper class people will buy a Versace shirt that looks like a regular fucking shirt because they like the way it feels or the stitching or the French cuffs are done a certain way or whatever the fuck it is. Something, they just buy it because they wanted it. And lower upper class people can go shop poor. They can go buy poor people clothes and if you like it, I have certain shorts that I like to wear. I can't find them anywhere anymore. But if I was rich, I wouldn't go spend $100 on a pair of shorts with a big fucking logo on it that says, I'm rich, I'm rich. I would just buy the same shorts I always wear because I like them, because they're comfortable, because they dry fast when they get wet, all those kinds of things. That's the difference between upper middle class and lower upper class. Basically have the same amount of money, they just act completely fucking different. Upper class is a whole different thing. Middle class is a whole nother thing, but there's a gap where they come together and you've got two kinds of people living in the same budget. And so Cranberry, Pennsylvania is just full of these upper middle class assholes who just, everything they do is about showing off and trying to compete with their neighbor who has the nicest looking McMansion in a neighborhood full of McMansions that all look exactly the same, and who has the nicest car in the driveway. All that kind of dumb shit. Who has the highest budget for 4th of July fireworks, who has the highest budget for Christmas decorations, all that fucking dumb shit. It's a competition where somebody who's lower upper class buys a piece of land with no fucking neighbors and has a gate at the end of their driveway and you can't see their house from the road because they don't want you to, because they want their fucking privacy. That's the difference. Same amount of money, two different people. So if I had the money, I sure as fuck wouldn't be showing it off. Do not care about that. Would I have, if I had a lot of money in the bank, would I have some nice things? Sure. If I had a lot of money in the bank, would I do some nice things for people? Fuck yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know this is just kind of a rambling video for an hour and a half. That's where I'm at today. And I'm going to get off of this video and I'm going to do some productive things. And then I'm going to go do this bike ride. That's pretty much why I'm kind of in this blah kind of mood today, because I've got to do this bike ride that I shouldn't have had to do. And so I'm trying to see if I can find a better, a way to make this more worthwhile. come home with a prize, like a prize at the bottom of the cereal box or something like that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at. And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to say peace out for now. We'll talk again.